The queue at the grocery store was typical, just another evening with aisles humming from voices and the faint chimes of scanned items echoing. But when the gentleman in the sharp suit approached the checkout, the whole shop fell quiet. His glossy black card was swiped once, then twice, and then the display blinked a term nobody anticipated: declined. For a fleeting instant, time seemed to halt. Customers behind him grinned slyly. Murmurs raced like sparks, and the cashier tilted her head back, laughing loudly and without pity. The man's gaze dropped to the floor, his jaw clenched, and beside him a young girl pulled at his hand, her wide, anxious eyes looking up. Nobody knew his identity. Nobody knew the wealth that trailed him. And nobody knew that in this tiny, humbling moment, a child's kindness was about to transform everything. If you value kindness, fresh starts, and the strength of human empathy, please pause to like this video, subscribe to Kindness Tales Stories, and share this tale with someone who needs to hear it. Your support keeps these uplifting stories thriving. The man was William Carter, a tycoon who forged his empire through steel, building, and relentless drive. He had stood in towering glass offices, addressed rooms filled with the nation's most influential figures, and his name adorned skyscrapers in New York and beyond. Yet none of that mattered here. In this quaint town market, stripped of his title and riches, he was merely a man whose card had failed. It wasn't a bank glitch. It wasn't theft. It was a lesson destiny had crafted for him, cloaked in the most degrading form possible. For years, William had shielded himself with power and prestige, seldom pausing to see the silent battles of everyday people. Now he stood vulnerable, the burden of shame pressing heavily upon him. The cashier chuckled again, ensuring everyone nearby could hear her. Shoppers in line leaned closer to glimpse the man's face, some pointing, some snickering, relishing the sight of someone prominent stumbling. The girl beside him, no older than 7, with pigtails and a faded blue dress, glanced from the items on the conveyor to the crowd behind. She didn't see a tycoon. She saw a man buckling under humiliation's weight. Then, as if led by a force beyond her, she did something extraordinary. With small, shaky hands, she dug into her pocket and pulled out 3 wrinkled bills and a few coins. It wasn't much, just the sort of change a child saves from pocket money or finds under sofa cushions. Slowly, she extended her hand toward the cashier. The store hushed again, but this time for a new reason. Murmurs ceased. Laughter faded. Everyone watched this young girl place her money on the counter, her voice barely a whisper as she asked the cashier to accept it. She wanted to help pay for this stranger's groceries. The man froze. William Carter, the tycoon who had once signed checks larger than the annual income of entire households, stood speechless. His heart, toughened by years of deals and pride, felt something he hadn't permitted in decades: humility. His eyes stung, not from anger, but from a sudden surge of tears he struggled to restrain. This child with nothing had given him everything: dignity, compassion, and a reminder of what true wealth meant. The store, once brimming with scorn, shifted in mood. The laughter that had mocked him turned to murmurs of regret. Some bowed their heads, ashamed they had ridiculed a man in distress, while a child showed the bravery to be kind. The cashier's smile wavered, replaced by a look of uneasy guilt. And William, the man who could purchase anything, realized he had encountered something invaluable. As the groceries were bagged, William knelt to the girl's level, his voice cracking as he thanked her. She didn't know his identity, didn't know the towers his name graced, didn't care about his wealth. To her, he was just a man in need, and kindness called for action. She smiled gently, unaware that in this moment she had altered the course of his life. When they left the store, William didn't return to his limousine parked outside. Instead, he walked the girl, Lily, home, curious about her world. Her home was modest, with peeling paint and a sagging porch. Inside, her mother worked tirelessly, folding laundry while watching a pot simmering on the stove. Life here was simple, marked by quiet struggles and small triumphs. Lily's mother was surprised to see a well-dressed stranger at her door, but welcomed him warmly without judgment. That night, William couldn't sleep. The image of Lily offering her last coins lingered in his mind. For years, he had gauged wealth by numbers and possessions, but now he understood that true wealth lay in kindness, in giving when you have little, in seeing humanity where others see only flaws. The next morning, he made a choice. Weeks later, news spread nationwide. William Carter, the tycoon known for his cutthroat business tactics, had launched a vast foundation to aid struggling families. Grocery bills were paid anonymously across towns. Homes were repaired. Scholarships were granted to children who never imagined college. But beyond the money, William was there, walking store aisles, visiting homes, listening to stories he had once overlooked. At the heart of it all was a little girl in a blue dress, the one who gave him 3 crumpled bills. She became the campaign's symbol. Though William ensured she and her family never lacked again, he didn't flaunt her kindness as charity. He safeguarded it, nurtured it, and honored it by ensuring her life was filled with opportunity, love, and dignity. Years later, when people spoke of William Carter, they didn't mention his skyscrapers or billions. They spoke of the day his card was declined, and a child's kindness reshaped his view of the world. That was his true legacy, written not in steel or money, but in compassion. If this story warmed your heart, please like this video, subscribe to Kindness Tales Stories, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness can change the world. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Would you have done what Lily did that day? Share your thoughts in the comments. And so this tale reminds us that true wealth is never measured by a bank account's balance or a credit card's shine. It is measured by the courage to show kindness when no one else dares, by the strength to offer a hand when others turn away, and by the ability to find hope in the unlikeliest places. That little girl, with nothing in her pockets but everything in her heart, changed the life of a man the world thought had it all. She taught us that compassion carries no price tag, and that sometimes the smallest voices deliver the loudest lessons. If this story moved you, let it be more than a tale you watched. Carry it into your life, your family, your daily choices. Be the person who lifts someone when they're down, who gives even when it seems impossible, and who believes in humanity even when the world feels cold. If this story stirred your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Tales Stories so these timeless lessons continue to reach more souls. And before you go, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.